So now I'm going to be putting on new sway bar bushings. This particular style is kind of like a C shape. You can see you can separate it, but you'll have to kind of squeeze it onto the bar. I think there are some aftermarket types that are purely two pieces you can easily put together. So I'm going to be taking the old ones off. There's a little bracket on each side holding these in. So we'll get the old ones off and put the new ones on. So here are some of the tools that I'm going to be using for this job. We've got a torque wrench on the left, a pry bar. You can either use a kind of a large screwdriver or an actual pry bar. Ratchet with the ratchet extension and the 15mm socket, a deep socket, and then just some eye protection and some gloves as usual. And then finally I have a impact wrench. I'm just going to use this for removing the bolts and using a 15mm to get the bolts off. When putting the bolts back on, I'm going to torque them to spec, which is I think 41 foot-pounds, and I'm going to use my torque wrench for that. You can either use a screwdriver, or if you have a pry bar, you can use that. Since I have a pry bar handy, I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to leave these screws in there. And now we need to pry off this old bushing. I guess I'll choose to use this pry bar because it has a nice angle. Now if I can get into that little crack, Alright, so now it's somewhat loose. Let me just kind of slide it away from the bolts. Get that further down. I'm just trying to spin it out of the way. So I got the large block down, and then should be able to slip that off. So I'm just trying to replicate the way the old one was, so I'm going to put that split towards the front. This one's not quite as pliable as the other one yet. Alright. Now we'll push it into position. Alright, so that should be in the old position. Put in our clamp again. And I'll start the nuts by hand. Now I'm going to use my ratchet with the 15mm and hand tighten that first, and I'll try to alternate both sides to apply even pressure to the bracket. Alright, so I'm not fully tightened that just yet, so now I'm going to tighten the other side. All right, I think we're to the point where I can now use the torque wrench to get the final tightness. So I've set my torque wrench to 41 foot-pounds. Okay, that was that one. Now this side's a little bit different. It has the same sized nuts on these bolts, but this side has a heat shield and it's held on by a secondary nut as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these outer nuts off using the impact. Yeah, I'm just gonna maybe bend it out of the way a little bit. I'll use my impact again to get the other one off. I guess I'll use the screwdriver this time. All right. All right, so now I'm gonna slide this over if I can. First I'm gonna kind of crack it open just a little bit to loosen it up. Let's see if I can slide this over. Oh. Nope, it's not really wanting to move for me. So this ridge fits inside of a slot in this particular bushing. The other side did not have this ridge. So this is preventing me from sliding from side to side.
As you can see here, I didn't have enough clearance to be able to get the driver's side bushing off, so I decided to go back to the passenger side to loosen the bolts that I had tightened earlier just to get enough clearance to be able to get it off.
Yep, so you can see now when we come back to the driver's side, that gave us a significant amount of range of motion here that we just didn't have before.
So now I can spin it easily around like that, and
sometimes it's the little things that make your world so much easier.
not sure why they added that on one side but not the other. These are much stiffer, so I'm gonna break it in a little bit. Let's see if I can get it started now. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it's on the ridge right. Yep, it's on there. Okay, so I'm going to tighten up the other side again. Put the bracket back on. It's a little tight. Now, some people like to put some slight lubricant inside the bushing and also on the outside. Lithium grease, I believe you can use. Okay. So I'll start that by hand first. And then this one, start over here. And this other one looks like it has a little bit of a rubber. It just looks slightly different. That's why I'm thinking this is the one that was on top of this heat shield. Let me tighten these up first. so that should be ready for torquing. So again, 41 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, so then we put the shield back on. And we'll put the other nut on top. Now I'm going to use the same torque setting. All right, I think that's it. So lessons learned, probably should have taken both clips off together so that the sway bar can just kind of droop down so that you get plenty of room to remove the bushings. Also, if you have time, you know, to buy some lithium grease, that would be a good idea to apply some lithium grease inside the rubber bushings and then also on the outside where the clamp attaches. So that's it for this video. It was a short one. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a like and comment if you want to, and subscribe, and stay tuned for future postings that are similar to this, where we're going to be continuing to work on the truck on the suspension. So stay tuned.